How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we work together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and in this episode, we're going to talk about how to live a positive life. If you are someone that struggles with low frequency, maybe it's negativity, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's struggling with the ability to create the life that you desire. In this episode, we're going to talk about how you can exist in that high energy, high frequency state to where you can manifest and create a positive life that you deserve. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep healing meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to do another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear today to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So I often get this question. It's, how do you build your positive mindset? Like, how do we take the steps? What is it that we can do? And to that, in this podcast, I talk about how everything is happening for you. And I'm going to break down exactly what I mean by that. So for this example, I'm actually going to use the podcast, but it could be anything. It could be an exercise program. It could be a diet. It could be your finances. It could be just your general well-being. Like whatever you choose to apply this to, it is true. Frequency or energy is levels. And I think the highest version is love. It's like that feeling when you're feeling really good. Maybe you've sat in your car before and you're just relaxing. You don't have to be anywhere. You're just parked and you have the warm sun beating down on you. Maybe the gas tank is full. You have a little bit of money in your bank account. You're just feeling good. You just feel that light, that love. That's that high frequency feeling. And then we've all felt the opposite of that, where we're in pain. Maybe we're cold, it's wet, it's just painful, just everything hurts. Like the opposite of that feel good feeling. I'm going to break down how that's frequency and how you can use that for growth, like how you can truly raise your internal state. So if you're in media, or if you do anything like podcasting or YouTube or anything along those lines, you might be aware that December is one of the worst months for performance. There's a lot of holidays, people are really busy, and so people don't consume as much content. And that includes this podcast. And so for the month of December, even though I know it's coming, I slowly watch the listens go down and down and down. And the closer you get to the end of the month, the lower they get. And in your mind, you start having that negative self-talk. Maybe that happens to you when you start falling off the diet plan. Or maybe that starts happening to you when you're struggling at work. Maybe you're not hitting your goals. You're not where you need to be in school, like whatever situation. And you start having this negative self-talk. And a lot of times we think that negative self-talk is us. And then when we start doing really well, like it's January, things are blowing up. People are working on their self-help. So that's a big turn on for this podcast. People come to raise their vibration by listening to the Positive Mindset Podcast. And so numbers are up. Maybe you start having a really good time at work. Maybe you're hitting your goals. Maybe you're doing really good in school. Maybe it's a sport. Maybe it's with your home life, with your partner, like everything's going perfect. And then you start having this really positive self-talk, like you're feeling good about things. Why does this happen? Like, what is that? I believe ultimately you are the observer. And with this perspective, I'm giving you 100% the power and responsibility for everything in your life and the energy that you're feeling. If you're an observer, if that's what your being is, your true energy, you are not your thoughts. So when you're in that low frequency, when you're struggling, like when the podcast is low, or you're struggling with your diet, or you're struggling with your mental health, or you're struggling financially, when you're in that low and those negative thoughts start happening, those are not your thoughts. You're just observing the frequency of that layer, and you don't have to allow those thoughts to be part of you. Just like when you're achieving well and things are happening for you and you have the positive thoughts, those are still not your thoughts. You're observing things in that frequency. And if we can observe thoughts and we are creators, why can't we create the thoughts that we desire? And see, that's where your power comes from. When you are struggling, when you are having a hard time and you start observing those negative thoughts that are residing in that frequency, what would happen if you acknowledge them, let them go, and start creating the thoughts that you need in the area to uplift you? You start creating the type of thoughts that are felt on the high frequency through your creation power. You see, you use gratitude by observing the situation, and then on a far enough timeline or scaling back far enough, you can see the good that is coming from the pain, the hurt, the struggle that you're going through, and you bring those thoughts into your mind. You start using the law of attraction to pull yourself back up to the frequency. How powerful are you when you do that? That is taking complete control of your internal state. We are not our thoughts. Our thoughts, I believe, are no different than everything else that we see. Just like the books that I see in front of me, or the computer screen, or the microphone, or the car that you're driving, or the clothes that you're wearing, or if you look at your hand in front of you, all of that is external because you're observing it. And when you close your eyes and you think about something, you think about the tree, you think about the hand, or you think about a sentence, it's still all things that you're observing. So next time when you're struggling, when you're feeling down, tell yourself, I am not these thoughts. I am much more powerful than these thoughts alone. These thoughts can either bring me down or bring me up. I'm going to start putting in thoughts that I desire. I'm going to start putting in the frequency that I need to be the version of me that I want to be. And gratitude is the tool that gets you there. And that is why everything happens for you. You see, you are not this life, this experience that we're having, this body, that your titles, all this stuff, those are all physical and they do not go forever. They end. They came from the dirt and they will go back to the dirt. That includes your heart, your mind. Every physical part of you goes back. But energy cannot be destroyed. And whether that energy is your spirit, your soul, or just part of the universe that you are currently borrowing to lift up, whatever that is, that's the only thing that matters. And if that's your true self, and that's the true thing that matters, then when you're in the difficult time that's happening, and we wish it was different, we wish we had the money, we wish we had the health, like whatever the opposite of the pain that we're going through, that's what we wish you had. But when you're going through that difficult time, you have the ability to start practicing gratitude. And when you start practicing gratitude, you start finding the love, like the good outcome of what you're going through. You start bringing it within you, and then you start creating more of it, and you get more powerful in that frequency because it's flowing through you. You are dictating at that point the energy that resides within you. That is an extremely powerful, powerful thing, and you can absolutely do it. We're going to try it right now. We're going to do it together. These healing breaths that we do are moments to slow down, moments to observe everything. So when we take this deep breath in, think about your specific situation. What is it you're struggling with? Is it a spouse? Is it a family member? Is it work? Is it finances? Is it health? Is it school? What situation are you going through right now that is pulling you down? What thoughts are going through your mind as you're struggling? You tuned in to the Positive Mindset Podcast because you're looking for some of that positivity. We're going to create it. You are going to create it right now. So as you close your eyes and you breathe in, what I want you to do is focus on the positive, something good that's coming from the situation. Even if it's 10 years down the road, maybe it's something that when you grow up, you're going to be able to teach your kids, or you're going to be able to teach someone that you work with. Just somewhere down the road, something positive is coming from what you're going through, even if it's not positive for you. Bring that thought in. View it in your mind as you're breathing in. Charge it within you. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize you experiencing that positive thing, living in that frequency, feeling the good energy. And then as you exhale, any darkness, any heaviness, anything that does not reside with that frequency will leave you so that you can be the energy that you want to create. So take a minute to bring that within your mind, find the good, And let's take that deep breath in. And out. The hardest truth will always be that everything is happening for you. It's not happening for you to win on this earth. It's not happening for you to make more money. It's not happening for you to be happier. Those things can happen, but everything is happening for you to give you an opportunity to raise your perspective and find the light, find the love, bring it within you, and be the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a positive perspective for today. All the new listeners out there, thank you so much for being a part of this show and really combining your energy with everyone else that's listening to be the best part of our world's day, because that's the goal. Our goal is to be servants and lift each other up so that we can feel that good energy within us. And if you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link in the description. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. And if you want to join the Positive Mindset Facebook community, there's a link down below for that as well. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.